blue shoes on. Going down to the house of sausage.
Welcome to the BarbecuePitBoys.com. Today we're going to do up some Memphis ribs on the grill. And they're real easy to do. You got to check this out. All right, here we've got a slab of pork ribs. These are spare ribs, about a 5.5 pound slab. And what you got to do first here is trim up this slab. And that's real easy to do. Here we've got a flap we want to remove. And we'll trim off a little bit of the excess fat. We just want to make it look real pretty on the grill. Now, you could cut this up St. Louis style, but we're not going to do that today. We're just going to square off the corners. Now, some refer to this rib technique as Tennessee style ribs, or they'll refer to it as a dry rib. You call it what you want. This is some good eating on the grill. And here I'm cutting off some of the excess meat. It doesn't have any rib bone in there, so we're just going to remove it because it'll cook different. All right, easy enough. Now, like I said, we're not cutting this St. Louis style. We're just cutting off the minimum amount of meat. And the only other thing you want to do here is you can either score this membrane 6 or 7 times, or you can actually pull the membrane off. And you've seen us do this before. Get yourself a piece of paper towel, get your fingers under there and just pull away, just like that. It's real easy to do. Now, a lot of rib houses leave that membrane on. They'll just score it. But if you got the time, you take it off. All right. Now, this excess meat here, this is all good eating, and the pit masters will put that on during the grilling. Have a little bit of snack while waiting for this low and slow. All right. Now, as I said, this style rib, these Tennessee ribs or these Memphis ribs, it's all about the rub. In fact, the only time you'll ever see a barbecue sauce used with these ribs is when you're serving them up. You might put a little bowl of barbecue sauce along the side. Other than that, this is all about dry ribs. Now, for your rub, you want to choose your favorite one. And you can use an off-the-shelf rub, or you can make your own dry rub. Check out the Barbecue Pit Boys recipes. And then you want to liberally pour it all over these ribs. Put it on all the exposed meat, both sides. Man, easy enough. And we're going to let this rub sit on this rack for about 2 hours. Now, some will say they go 6 hours overnight, but nah, you don't want to do that. A couple hours is all you need. In fact, those rib houses, sometimes they'll just throw it on before they throw it on the old smoker. 2 hours is just about good. All right, now, we're going to let them set in this marinating pan here for about 2 hours in the refrigerator. All right, about 2 hours has gone by. It's about time we get these ribs on the grill. Now, we're doing some indirect low and slow heating on this kettle grill. We're going to use the minion method. So we have a long low and slow going here with this charcoal. And the minion method is that we've got about a chimney full of unburnt charcoal in there. And we're pouring about a half a chimney of hot coals. And that'll give you a long low and slow without adding any more charcoal. Now we've got a drip pan in there, which we're also going to use as a water pan. And this will help keep these ribs nice and moist during this 4.5 hour low and slow. All right, let's prepare these ribs. Now, one technique I like to use here just before throwing on these Memphis ribs is got some light brown sugar. And we're going to sprinkle on another layer of flavor on this. Now, once these ribs heat up in this grill, that brown sugar will melt all over these ribs. I think you know where we're going with this. Then you want to grab some more of your rub and sprinkle a little bit more all over top of the brown sugar. Oh yeah, it looks good enough to eat already. All right, let's put them on the grill. Now, they're going on indirect, opposite the hot coals. We want a temperature of about 225 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. And the only other thing you need to add here is a little chunk of hardwood, produce a light layer of smoke. And that's a little bit of hickory. Careful with the smoke. In fact, a good smoked rib, you don't want to see any smoke coming out of the stack. All right. 4 hours ago. Now, we're going to make ourselves a mop. And about once every 45 minutes to an hour, we're just going to mop those ribs. And we'll make a real basic mop here. And it's about a 1-to-1 mix of apple juice and apple cider vinegar. You could use a clear vinegar if you want. About 1 cup to 1 cup. And here I have a little bit of prepared mustard. I'll put about a tablespoon in there. And we'll put about a tablespoon of your favorite rub in there again. All right. Man, there's nothing like eating Tennessee dry ribs around the pit. You definitely got to check this out. Now, grab yourself a mop. Now, since these ribs have been cooking for about an hour, we're going to slop on some of this mopping sauce. Just on the top like that is all you need to do. Put the cover on. Again, 225 to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah. All right, now we're about 2 hours into this low and slow. Man, it's starting to look real good. Slop on some more of this mopping sauce. Man, you smell that? It smells good. I'm gonna add a little more chunk of hickory in there. Man, still plenty of time to chunk some more hatches. All right, we're about 3 hours now into this, and we're coming along real good. Now, this is optional, but I'm going to turn these ribs around, and maybe a little more even cooking going on. I find it's not always necessary. A little more mop. Man, are you getting hungry or what? One more little chunk of hickory. It's all good. All right, through the miracle of time, these Tennessee dry ribs are done. It's time to pull them off the grill. And what we're going to do here is we're going to let them rest for a while. So we're going to use a couple sheets of aluminum foil. And we'll let them sit in there for, maybe 15 minutes to a half hour. And this will allow a lot of the flavoring and the juices to redistribute around the ribs. It's worth doing this. All right, it's time to plate some up. Whoa, take a look at that. Cut a few pieces of these ribs up. Look at that. Moisture, tender, layers of flavor. Hoo-wee. Man, look at that smoke ring. Not much more to say now, is there? Now, serving these ribs, all you need is a little more of your dry rub. Just give it a good sprinkle. That's some eating right there. In fact, as always, you gotta sample one of these pieces right in front of you.